Continuing our earthquake coverage, focus still is on that collapsed section of Interstate 880 in Oakland, where it is believed at least 250 people were crushed when the top portion of that double-deck freeway collapsed. Our Furnell Chatman is there. Let's go to him again. Good morning, Furnell.
Good morning, Jess, but it is not a good morning here in the city of Oakland. At this hour, a large number of volunteers and professionals are being mobilized to get inside and take as best a look as they possibly can at this collapsed section of freeway. Behind me is Interstate 880. It was a double-deck freeway. When the earthquake hit late yesterday afternoon, the top section collapsed onto the bottom section, sandwiching a lot of people, a lot of motorists trapped in their cars beneath tons of concrete. If we can get the camera to zoom behind me here, you might be able to see some of the mobilization of forces. As we indicate, police are out, some military personnel are now out on the streets of Oakland, and we also have, from yet another perspective, a look at this crumpled, collapsed section of freeway. All total, about 1.5 miles. As you can see, I trust from these aerials, about 1.5 miles section of the freeway collapsed late yesterday. The good news we've received this morning is that the top level of that freeway was carrying the heaviest traffic, not the bottom level. Ironically, as you may be able to tell from some of these photos, most of the bottom level is still pretty much intact. Why? We're really not sure. Some real tough questions will probably be posed to some Caltrans engineers pretty soon. For example, why did this freeway collapse when everything else around it is still pretty much intact? There are not a large number of buildings that collapsed near and around this freeway, but the freeway went down. In addition to the freeway itself, there is about a 2 to 3 square mile area of Oakland between downtown Oakland and the Bay where there have been some problems. There have been water leaks, gas leaks, and a number of buildings suffered some structural damage. Downtown Oakland, however, there is no evident structural damage. Power was on throughout downtown Oakland most of the night. The big emphasis this morning, though, is on rescue, finding out if there are still any other people who may be alive and still trapped inside this collapsed freeway structure. A lot of people, as I've mentioned, have been mobilized. Police have sealed off much of this area. We have gotten no reports whatever of looting. There's virtually no loitering on the streets either. A lot of manpower is now out. A great deal of heavy equipment has also been brought into this area in hopes of moving out some of this concrete. That rubble, however, is going to be there for quite some while, and it's going to be obviously a very long time before Interstate 880 is opened again. Reporting live from the city of Oakland, I'm Furnell Chatman.
Because that one vehicle in that section that did not collapse.
Incredible to see that. Now, Furnell, I believe you're still with us there. We
Yes, I am.
are able to see, of course, the collapsed section of that stretch of highway, but it appears that buildings right around you are standing up fine. Could you describe the area immediately around that devastated portion of the highway?
Well, where I think we are is just about dead center of the collapsed section of freeway. That collapsed area runs for a stretch of about 1.5 miles. It is just an incredible sight to see. Why the freeway went down, why the buildings surrounding it did not go down, that's a real tough question. That's a tough question that's going to be put to some Caltrans engineers. Why did the freeway collapse when buildings all around are still standing?
One of the questions that comes to mind as we look at that aerial view of that freeway, which had bumper-to-bumper rush hour traffic on it when that collapse occurred. What a ride that must have been for those on that top deck. But if you'll notice, there are only a few vehicles remaining on that top deck. The others obviously had to drive off that freeway.
A scary drive
that must
indeed.
have been an incredible moment, too.
Truly. Now, also, we have some information right now from, thank you very much, Furnell Chatman. We'll be joining him a little bit later, again, at the site of the devastated collapse of the 880. Right